Welcome back. The Mullai Periyar issue has made it an uncomfortable, even an insecure situation for many in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. The Chennai police say they have registered 21 cases so far and have made some arrests too. As tension prevails among Chennai-based Malayalis, let's take a look at the profile of these fringe groups who took to the streets attacking shops owned by Keralites in Chennai. This report is based on the information revealed by police sources. Salim has more. 27-year-old Tangaraj sold his ancestral property in Krishnagiri district to start a business in Chennai. He runs a bakery named Chennai Hot Puffs in Mylapore for almost a decade now. The bakery, which is the only source of income for his family, came under attack by a mob 3 days ago. It was actually a case of mistaken identity. In a fit of rage, the attackers vandalized 2 shops run by Malayalis and Tangaraj's bakery, presuming that he is a Malayali.
4 பேர் வண்டியில வந்தாங்க வந்து 2 பேர் வந்து உடைச்சாங்க உடைக்கும்போது நான் போய் பிடிச்சேன் சார் பிடிச்சா எங்களை அடிக்க வந்தாங்க அடிச்சிட்டு அதுக்கு அப்புறம் உடைச்சிட்டு போயிட்டாங்க வண்டியில போயிட்டாங்க அதுக்கு அப்புறம் ஒரு போலீஸ் கஸ்டமர் அவர் சாப்பிட்டு வாங்கிட்டு இருந்தாரு அவர் தான் துரத்திட்டு போனாரு அதுக்கு அப்புறம் ஸ்டேஷன்ல அவர் ஃபோன் பண்ணி சொல்லி அவங்க தான் பிடிச்சிருக்காங்க சார்.
The scene of crime just a stone throw away from the Mylapore police station. 4 attackers were apprehended. One is a painter, the other a carpenter, and the other does interior decoration for a living. Police say the attackers of this particular incident identified themselves as members of the little-known Tamil outfit, claiming to protect Tamil language and culture.
Any situation like this, anti-social elements will come in, and some of these, some politicians who have been sidelined by the people and who are cashing in on this kind of passion, they will take advantage. So one has to be very, very careful. So normally in such situation, only such people they fish in troubled waters and try to get some mileage. So police has to act very, very effectively.
Several other outfits claiming to protect Tamil language and culture are behind the attacks. During interrogation, the attackers have said that it was their way of taking revenge against the alleged attacks in Kerala. Political leaders cutting across party lines have condemned the act of violence. The common man says he wants peace.
It should not happen. Our CM Amma does not support all these violent activities. She is giving full protection to these people. But what is happening in Kerala? Our Tamils are being evacuated. They are coming to land. They are after all laborers. They are not safe in their land.
Basically, we're not going to see, whether he's a Malayali or whether he's a Tamilian or whether he's a, Gujarati. All we, look at is unity at the end of it. And I don't think it's actually, it's very, it's a healthy scene here.
கேரளாலேருந்து யாரோ கடை வச்சிருக்காங்க ஆந்திரா கடை அதெல்லாம் பார்க்கறது இல்லை அது பார்க்கவும் மாட்டோம்.
இப்போ வந்து எல்லாருமே தமிழன் மாதிரி தான் கேரளாக்காரங்க இங்கே கடை வச்சுருக்காங்க டீ கடை வச்சுருக்காங்க இப்போ அங்கே போய் குடிக்கிறோம் மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் தம் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸு தான் மற்றபடி எதுவுமே கிடையாது கேரளாக்காரங்க தான் போயிட்டு இது பண்ணோம் அட்டாக் பண்ணோம் அப்படின்றதுலாம் எதுவுமே இல்லை.
The city police have warned miscreants indulging in violence and have posted men in khaki in front of Malayalis establishments in Chennai. In Chennai, with Salim, this is Anu George Kanjanathoppil for NDTV Hindu. Kolkata is yet to recover from the AMRI hospital tragedy, in which over 90 patients died due to lack of fire safety measures. Now, another shocking incident from the city, which has highlighted the terrible state of healthcare. A month-old infant died at the Calcutta Medical College Hospital, allegedly after an oxygen mask was removed by a drunk staff member. The child's family has complained to the hospital authorities, but they say the police refused to accept their complaint. 6 people arrested during investigation of the 2005 terror attack at the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, have been sentenced to life imprisonment. The 6 people were convicted yesterday on charge of plotting terror attacks in Bangalore and waging war against the country, but not specifically for the attack on Indian Institute of Science. These men were arrested in the year 2005. The move to ban Bhagavad Gita by a Siberian court led to a storm in the Lok Sabha today, with several members denouncing it and demanding that the government take it up strongly with Russia. There were protests outside the Russian embassy in Kolkata as well. Members of the ISKCON group today held demonstrations outside the Russian consulate in Kolkata to protest Russian plans to ban the Bhagavad Gita. It's been considered as a victory of sorts for the Bhopal gas tragedy protesters, as Dow Chemicals has agreed to remove all its branding from London's 2012 Olympic Stadium. Dow is one of the big sponsors of London Olympics.
या तो डो केमिकल्स अपने आप हट जाए, नहीं तो उनको हटा देना चाहिए. ऐसी मांग हम IOC और उनको करेंगे.
India's demand was loud and clear and was eventually heard. This bunch of protesters from Bhopal are going to be a happy lot, as Dow Chemicals has now agreed to remove all its branding from London's Olympic Stadium. The International Olympic Committee and the Organising Committee of the London Games both had backed Dow so far because it had no role to play in the 1984 Bhopal gas tragedy. The decision to withdraw is a voluntary one from Dow. Dow, that has a contract with the International Olympic Committee or IOC till 2020, was supposed to sponsor a decorative wrap around London's Olympic Stadium.
Andhra Pradesh is witnessing a huge increase in farmer suicide deaths once again this year. Even otherwise, over 22,000 farmer suicide deaths have been reported in the state in a 10-year period. Umar Sudhir visited Medak district, where NDTV found that the average age of farmer who commits suicide is 32.
Nagamani is not even 20 years old yet. Her husband Santosh had been an enterprising farmer who drank pesticide when, despite his best efforts, all that grew on his field was dead. The mother of a 4-year-old, Nagamani is likely to spend most of her life repaying the debt her husband incurred. A survey of some 1,100 farmers who committed suicide in Medak district has shown that the average age of the farmer was hardly 32 years, most of them very young, tenant farmers, burdened with responsibilities far beyond what they thought they could fulfill. Sinu, for example, was hardly 30 years old, father of 3 children, married at 18. He had inherited only debt and loss from his father. Each such young man who ends his life leaves behind children too young to even fathom the enormity of the tragedy, a young wife most vulnerable to exploitation and too daunted by the challenge of facing the world, and old parents too helpless and defeated by the tragedy from which they see no recovery or escape. Who should they turn to? In Hyderabad, Umar Sudhir, NDTV.
And Adada calls Greg Chappell mad. More on that after the break.